Matt Hoffman, are you ready? Oh, thumbs up, I guess, means we're ready. I need to just roll in on some of this new espresso triple shot right here, the rich mocha. God, I love this stuff.
That was such an advert, Jared. Yeah. Even though, oh my God, you're like a baby drinking from a teat, just getting all the leche in tu boca.
Yuck.
Sorry, I'm bilingual now, so sometimes I just start speaking Spanish.
What do you mean, yuck? I'm drinking your product.
No, I was saying it about you.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like... I was just saying that about you.
The visual was what you were yucking about.
You're like,
Jared, do you know camo doesn't hide fat? I can still see it. Actually, you look really lean today. You look good.
Dude, I was reviewing the last couple Halloween videos last night, and like you looked like really bad, and a couple like you look way better now.
Thank you.
You look like you're like maybe it's the hair where it's the big hair.
I
slims
feel
down
like
the body,
I was the fattest in range 15.
No.
Really?
I feel like that was the worst I had ever looked.
No, I think it was when you had the cornrows, and you were like binge drinking. Like at least now you're like, just like you have drinks to have fun a little bit, but you're not like sending it every day.
Yeah, it's because of that heart thing, you know, like I had too much blood and it was really messy. You know, I kept waking up every morning and my arms would go numb.
Right. That's called, okay, yeah. We'll just leave that. Well, maybe it's because your girlfriend too, because she makes you like not eat hot dogs 6 times a day. So that's pretty rad.
I haven't had a hot dog in a while, but that's going to have to change this summer because I get my own hot dog next month.
What do you mean?
Oh, really?
Lord Hot Dog brand hot dogs launches next month.
From what company?
I can't say yet. Yes, I can. It's Feltman's.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, they're great. Feltman's is a super high quality hot dog, and it's amazing. It's delicious.
Is it all beef? Is it a beef hot dog?
Yes, it's all.
Oh, do I have to order it online?
Skinless.
Get me like 100 because I'm just going to give them to my friends when they want me to bring over steaks. They're used to me bringing over filet mignon. I'm just going to bring over Lord hot dogs.
Yeah, perfect. And then you're just like, hey, I didn't refrigerate these for like 8 days because they just can't come in the box all the time.
They're
like
kosher,
I get them for free.
Cool.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's probiotic. Like when you do that, I leave my lunch in my truck 50% of the days, and then I just let the heat kind of warm it up naturally, like a natural warming process. By noon, 1 o'clock, sometimes the next day, that's a probiotic. That's how I build a diverse gut biome.
Dude, I was just explaining this to Morgan the other day. I was just explaining exactly what you're saying. I was explaining this to Morgan the other day because she was getting on me for eating pizza that was on the counter for 3 days. I'm like, look, food doesn't break down as fast as you think it does. Like, food is very robust. Like, you know, you can have like chicken eggs can sit at room temp for like 45 days and still be perfectly fine.
Yes, but you can't wash them because they have an exterior membrane that is natural. As the chicken lays it has this exterior membrane that keeps oxygen from entering the egg and then essentially spoiling it. So if you wash them, it deteriorates that membrane and then it will spoil. Just so you know, just don't live your life like that. You know what I'm saying? Like don't live your
like with pizza. If you don't reheat it after you let it cool on the counter, it gets that kind of layer over the top.
Yeah, it develops a membrane that preserves it.
For at least 5 to 8 days, it's still good as long as you haven't refrigerated it or re-microwaved it.
It definitely developed a chicken egg membrane for sure.
This is why you get food poisoning 5 times a year.
I know my stomach. I have just grown to like, if you guys ever think I'm overly grumpy, it's because I'm in a lot of pain internally.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I do have something to show everybody. So check this out.
I've been waiting for this one.
Man, how long you've been working on that one for a while, man? That silencer smooth, new coffee bag looks pretty good. Looks pretty
delish.
good.
So what we wanted was this blueprint look. So when everybody gets this, they're going to look at it. They're going to be like, I don't understand. It's a blueprint. That's what it is.
I think it's fairly intelligible. If you don't know that that's a blueprint and a baffles of a suppressor.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you're not a big gun guy, but
the inside baseball is that whole bag is a blueprint of the company.
Well, you got JT over here, and then I put a little mustard stain. That's actually pre-printed on the bag.
I didn't know mustard stain. That's good.
We got a coffee ring right there, right here.
And your initials.
There. Matt has his initials right here on the side, and then Hot Logan has his initials on the other side. So rotate it around, all the core 4 have their initials on it somewhere.
I love it.
It's got, the thing that people need to realize about this year, like as we started to roll out these new bags, every one of them has a
hidden
Easter egg,
a little Easter egg, what I call a dick for, little Easter egg. And what's this dick for? So there's some epic designs, man, like gunship. So
God, that's so beautiful.
I mean, epic.
Yeah, that's my favorite design. So good.
Yeah, and trust me when I say I understand too. So all the guys that are out there, all the purist gun.
Oh, are they saying that's actually not an AH6?
Hey guys, me and my LARPer group, we understand that is not a gun.
Hold on.
No, wait. Jared literally said this as we were developing this design.
Go for it, Jared, and then I have my opinion.
I'm just gonna say it is not the LARPers that are calling you out, because our very own Pilot X was like, I showed him the new bag and he goes, but that's not a gunship. He's like, why don't you call the aviators when you guys are doing this? I go, I know. Like it's a personal thing for those guys.
But I don't really care, because if you're a guy, because if you talk to any of the guys that are on the line, you call that a gunship, right? So like pilots specifically want the AH6, not something that is a UH6 or whatever it is.
MH6 is the one that carries guys.
Yeah. But I was like, hey, we're fucking rolling in the gunship. So I don't care if it's missaid. That's for us. I had one of my 160th buddies reached out to me too.
Listen,
you're a gunship. I was like, whatever. He's laughing about it.
You're hurting 342 people's feelings.
Yeah, I
And we did. Like some guy was like chiming in last week. He's like, this is bullshit. This isn't a gunship. I used to buy your coffee because, you guys do all these great things for vets. Now, fuck you. I fucking guys.
Oh, wow. Someone got that mad over that?
I was like, dude, it's a gunship, meaning if you've been in a helo and you've got your rifle, and or if you've had to call it in, like call in close air. Sometimes shit shows up, man. Like, I get it. It's not the exact thing, but it's not meant to be. It's a design. Like it's a design. It's a coffee design. We're not publishing an encyclopedia for accuracy. Like hopefully everybody knows, like
you're not James. You're definitely not James.
I think what it comes down to too, right? Because the roast is already called gunship, and I'm not defending it. I don't give a fuck if people think I'm mad about that. But like it looks so much fucking cooler with dudes on it. Like it's so much cooler with dudes, and we're not changing our core roast name. So it's like, fuck out of here. Let's find that guy. Let's send him like 10 free bags of coffee, and
send him a pallet of gunship. Just on his porch.
We love you, buddy. Thank you for being a good customer. Here's free coffee.
Thank you so much for being a good coffee consumer. Anyway, yeah. So it was so funny. I told Dan Horgan, I was like, hey, just email that guy back and say, thanks a lot. We really appreciate all the business. But at the end of the day, this is a cool design that we wanted Gunship to be this epic design, because the previous design was super flat. It was cool, but this is epic. And we didn't want to rename New Roast.
The previous design we literally did for Harland.
Well, that's why I hate our Halloween roast the last year's, because it was a pumpkin grenade, and those don't exist. And I don't like that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and we did our 30 presents out, which was a flying elk with Santa Claus. And technically it wasn't a reindeer, right? So
it was a flying elk. And also,
and it didn't have a bright red nose. So I don't know how we let that one slip through.
In teamwork, actually, we just throw this away because
No, that's real. That's
There's
real.
no way a Sasquatch can ride a great white shark, and great white sharks don't have laser beams shooting out of their eyes. So
You know-
Never say never.
It's actually quite difficult to find somebody that can sculpt a life-size flying elk.
Yeah.
I've been looking.
That's
because
what
I've been
we
wanting to drop
Jared,
one off
I'm
on your
making
porch.
one, bro. Chill. I have my full mount elk that I killed. So it's coming in about 2 months. I'm putting it in the gym, and then I'm going to have probably my cousin fabricate giant wings for it. And I'm going to make a bugling flying elk. It's going to be in my gym. And then I have that, and I can already see the disdain
I see jealousy.
in Evan's face.
No,
Do you
it's not
see that?
disdain.
Do you
It's
see-
jealousy. That was his. He wants the flying elk.
He can make one. I'm just doing it for fun. Why do you get so mad when I do fun things, Evan? Is it just because I have good taste or something?
I'm not mad. I don't know why you think I'm angry. I think that it's just cool, to see one of the best designs that we've ever made, and you recognizing that.
I did find a manufacturer that'll help me design and develop a saddle for manatees.
Well, I think that you have to get the organic ones, because if you don't get organic leather that you're going to mount on a manatee, then it's exploitive, and you don't want to exploit manatees. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's true.
No.
Hey, there's a goat here. That's crazy.
This is the goat?
There's a goat here. Yeah, I gotta
Bring
see
in
it.
the
actual
goat.
Get in here, goats. I gotta see this thing. Holy shit.
Oh.
Hey, why don't we have goats here?
That's
I
a
like
good
how
question.
none of us are surprised. There's just goats walking around in the fucking office. Yeah, there's a
Oh.
goat.
Hey,
Man,
That's
that
a
thing's
cool goat, dude.
I kind of want that.
its
Oh my
face looks like
God.
a Rorschach.
It's got a black rifle fucking leash on.
Yeah.
If you're
How
listening to
random.
this show, you can
What
go
is
look on
going on?
YouTube and find Free Range American on YouTube and see the
I just heard
goat.
it bad. That was great.
Look at this. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta call my kids, tell them to come over here. This is nuts.
Yeah, they're going to want to hang out with that goat. By the way, my girls got a new dog. I want everybody to take a wild guess at what they've both decided its name's going to be.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know. What do you think? Bernard? Pumpkin. Chili.
Talon.
Steve.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
That was the first thing that came to mind. I was like, there's no way that could be that plain.
Fuck is Steve.
Lux has decided the dog's name is Steve.
I like that.
Speaking of what's going on at Jared's house, I came over here a couple of weeks ago when BJ first came to town, and Jared's just burning wood in his front yard. And I walk over, and Jared's got this like really expensive stand-up jet ski that he never rides anymore.
Oh, this Sea-Doo? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's in this like wooden covering, right? And it's open face, and there is a 2x4 that has gone through the wooden wall and into his jet ski. And I was like, Jared, can you please explain how the fuck this happened?
Yeah.
So we had a large pile of like wood in the yard, and my friend was here with a skid steer that had a chipper mounted to the front. Like, it just chipped everything. And I told him to hit the wood pile with it. Let's get rid of the wood pile. Let's just chip that up.
It's not how that works.
And he chipped it. He went right in the first piece that got it shot so fast backwards, it went through the door of my shed and it stuck right through the heart of the hull of the jet ski, right in the black rifle reticle, like it was a target. And now it's so in there, I can't get it out.
You have to take a picture of that and post it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You really do.
And then just tell that story. Be like, hey guys, like as an awareness piece, like, hey, if you ever have a wood pile in the middle of your yard and you have a tractor with a chipper on it, make sure you don't park your Sea-Doo too close because you might put a piece of wood through the heart.
Yeah. I think that's a PSA. I think you should shoot an entire PSA.
Yes. To within the arms of an angel.
Yeah. So that's like, this is your task for the show. Shoot a 30-second PSA on that. Just
Are you
Just
worried about the health
everyone.
of the hull of your jet ski when there's a wood chipper near? We'll just cut
Everybody
right to it.
Hey, millions of 30-something obese men have in their
Millions of middle-aged obese men are having their jet skis demolished by wood chippers.
yes, that's what it is. and then your solution is a Kevlar lined shed.
Body armor.
It's only
That's why I'm starting my new body armor shed.
It's
fucking
AR
business.
500 steel. It's 500 steel, fucking full steel. This shed weighs 8.9 tons, and it's only 60 square feet.
In 12 easy installments of $1,500, you can too have your AR 500 steel shed. Prevent 2x4s going through the hole of your stand-up jet ski.
when your buddy shows up with an industrial-sized front-mounted wood chipper to a bulldozer.
Can you please shoot that? And we will
100%.
cut to that. We will cut to that during this episode, which is fucking hilarious.
I guess I got a project for today.
Over 13 million middle-aged, slightly overweight men suffer from depression after a freak wood chipper accident destroyed their jet ski. Finally, there's hope.
I was once one of those men, until I found Uncle Evan's Cuddleshack for sad fat boys. Uncle Evan took me in and introduced me to a little thing called alcohol. Since then, I've gained 30 pounds, developed high blood pressure, and am at high risk for heart disease. But I no longer think about that freak wood chipper jet ski accident. Thanks, Uncle Evan.
Right? It's fucking hilarious.
We have lots of projects. We got shit to do.
My full page ad went out this month in Boerne magazine.
Oh my God, what did you do?
For your hot dogs?
No. It's actually, me and Caleb are holding those contests where, you can win things that you don't really want. So our first one is win a karate lesson from us. And I'll cut this. And it says to enter, walk into Black Rifle Coffee Boerne, ask for Mason. He will give you 3 riddles. If you answer all 3 correct, he will take your email address and you will be officially entered. Mason doesn't know that I ran this.
God, never change, bro. That's so good. So he doesn't have riddles. They're just gonna walk up and be like,
I already signed up for all 12 months for a full page ad in the magazine, so I have to come up with more ads.
That needs to be a billboard.
yeah.
Right?
You need to find a billboard.
There's one right here on Highway 46. It's empty. Okay.
As a billboard.
Okay.
Yeah. Free karate lesson.
Free karate lessons.
Just go into Black Rifle, solve
3 riddles.
3 riddles. We'll take down your email. Super easy.
Yeah, it's super easy. Be ready
I think we should ideate around these other 11 months that you have in the Boerne magazine.
I mean, so some ideas that we have is like win these 13 used tires.
Yeah.
Win this garbage can full of imitation crab meat. You better act now. We don't know when it's going to spoil.
Yeah.
Like, I just want you guys to walk into Black Rifle Boerne and see a giant life-size cardboard cutout of me and Caleb with a rip away that you can enter to win.
I love that. Yeah.
If it's in Black Rifle Coffee, people are actually going to do it because they'd love to hang out with you, Caleb, right? So
I guarantee you, Mason's gonna make a whole bunch of money off this because he's gonna have oodles of people coming into the store.
You know what? I've already got the riddles that are going to be very difficult to solve. Like the first one is just how many?
lot.
How many? That's it. How many? That's
How many what? I don't know.
I love that.
So I took an in-person meeting with the editor of Boerne magazine, and she came here, and Caleb and I essentially said, if we buy 12 months of a full page ad, can we advertise whatever we want, no matter how ridiculous? And she was like, yes.
Wow.
Wait, so we've got
how much does that
11 more of
cost?
these we get to do?
How much does that cost? Like, it's got to be like, what do you think? A couple $100 a month?
It's a few.
Okay.
Is this a
so you line in.
subscription magazine, or is this one of those ones that gets handed
all over
out?
town?
Okay,
like
so it's one of the free ones you
has
can
the
grab.
Boerne magazine rack.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere you go. It's like the Boerne, magazine. How do we get the cover? I want the cover.
Listen, I just had to buy 3 or more full page ads, so we already got it.
We get the cover
in 3 months.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Let's do something on the cover, please.
Yes, we're going to make it so ridiculous.
I mean, but let's not piss off Boerne. It's my hometown. I like Boerne.
We're making everybody laugh.
Yes.
It's about happiness.
Yes, I'm fucking in.
Yeah.
I like this. We need it. We need a cover. We should shoot the best cover of all time.
That is just so ridiculous.
Like we should do a Gun Bunny cover or something,
How do we fill, like, you remember Scrooge McDuck, like DuckTales?
Of course.
Yeah. How do we create a sea of roasted coffee beans that Evan goes off a diving board into?
I think you could just dump them into the pool at one of your pools, right? Because you have one at your house, and then it's just that top layer because it's going to float. Yeah. And then you can jump off and it'll look like an entire pool of coffee. Yeah. And then just VFX the other, like if there's breaks in the water, you just have to VFX the overall coffee back into it.
Mm-hmm. Dude, we've been trying to source this Tactisquatch costume for I've been trying to get this thing for months, man. And this one company came back to us. They wanted to charge us $95,000 for a Tactisquatch outfit.
I know. I remember they're like, yeah, it's 95. And I was like, oh, it's not terrible for that nice of a costume. And they're like, no, 95,000. And I was like, what the fuck?
Did you guys see what was in that?
Well, yeah, it had like a robotic mouth. And
crazy shit. All the facial features were robotic. So it would move around.
That's legit.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
But not $100,000 dope.
But I was thinking,
you don't need that shit.
Do you guys remember the Deadpool graphic that they came up with? And it's him like on the chair, like looking all sexy with the brass raining down. If we had Tactisquatch on a stage looking all sexy and he was just getting rained on with coffee beans.
Right.
Yeah, but we could probably have that animated for not $90,000.
Maybe. We can make our first NFT.
Yeah, there's people spending $68 million on NFTs.
69. Yeah.
69 million.
What's an NFT? Is that like a AFT?
It's a non-frangible token. And
I know. I just want to make fun of Biden saying AFT, okay?
Oh, God. The AFT is coming for us all.
How do you mess that up, man?
Do we really have to ask that question at this point? Like, can't even walk upstairs.
Here we are.
I like who he appointed as the possible AFT, the head of the AFT, the guy that's taking pictures standing on top of the burnt rubble from Waco. That's the kind of guy we want. That's the guy we want for sure. The guy that thinks that
killing Americans is great.
That 70 Americans alive in their home is like a really cool, badass thing. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah. That's the guy you want to get out there. Put him out in front of America, a proud American, fucking great choice. So awesome. So
have you
awesome.
seen some of the Hunter Biden photos coming out? It's pure gold.
With like teeth, because he's got mush mouth from being a fucking crackhead.
No, like all of them. There's ones with him like with like fucking strippers. He's like, I mean, I've taken some funky photos in my day, but my dad also isn't a career politician. So
you mean your dad is not the vice president of the United States?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm alluding to.
I have one saved on my phone.
Congressman that is 47 to be exact. No, wait,
right.
Like
senator, congressman, whatever the fuck.
Like
Hey,
I just think
crumbs, dude.
I just think it's fucking hilarious. Like I think this entire thing
is just fucking lunacy.
I just think it's fucking hilarious, man. It's not going to be funny in a few years, but as we look back on just kind of the level of incompetence that I think all of our politicians have just in general. I've said this on, I don't know, every show, I think, which is like, when are Americans going to learn that these people are fucking stupid and you don't need to forfeit your liberty to a bunch of stupid people? Why are they just, let's fucking give them more. I mean, there's like this fucking surveillance. There's this new surveillance bill that they want to pass where they can fucking essentially do they can do whatever they want right now because of the post 9/11 counterterrorism laws. Essentially, they can arrest you with no due process. They don't have to read your rights. They just have to claim that you're a terrorist and they can roll you up. Now they want to be even more aggressive with that. And it just kind of fucking dumbfounds me, man. I don't get what this incessant need for Americans to just go, here's all my liberty. I'm going to trust you because you're super smart. You know, we need Gavin Newsom and fucking Biden and all these other guys out there just be like representing us and taking all of our liberties. And
because they're so much smarter than us.
They're way smarter. They're way smarter. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my rant. I wish I could laugh about it.
Yeah.
I wish I could laugh about it, but it's fucking...
It's hysterical in nature that it's like just what the fuck's going on, but it's not funny, right? Like, it's not funny at all. But anyways, we don't need to start the morning off spicy.
I was so excited, Evan. I have a new hero, and I was telling these guys yesterday how much I like him.
Who's that?
Julius Caesar.
Oh,
I knew this was coming.
Hold on.
You went on like a mid tangent about this dude in the meeting the other day, but it was interesting.
Wait. I don't think he actually invented the Caesar salad. Is that what you're going to say?
No, I mean, is there anybody else as badass as him? Like, because, he started as a Roman private and then became the leader of the Roman Empire. Like, that's pretty fucking cool.
I think you've had a few people in history that have probably moved at that. I guess, I don't know what you'd even call that. I guess it would be like power mobility. I don't even know. Like,
I mean, also him essentially saying, the Senate, you guys need to sit the fuck down because you've done nothing and you've fucked this whole place up. I'm going to fix it. And then he did fix it. Like, and he got it really, really nice. But then he missed war a little too much. But I'm also kind of on the edge of he did owe it to, after they killed Cassius out there, going out there to try and fuck shit up too. And they killed everybody. I mean, he did owe them to go back there.
Did you just watch like a recent documentary or something? Or
no, Netflix has a really cool,
cool.
Netflix produced history of Rome. And each season takes different time periods. And one of the seasons is just on Caesar. And that like kind of 80 BC area. And it was just, you couldn't write a better movie out of that story. Like I was telling you guys yesterday. It's like, wait, what?
Dude, the storyline with Cleopatra.
Yeah, Cleopatra.
Mind-boggling.
It's fucking
I bet Cleopatra
crazy,
was hot as shit back in the day, dude.
I mean, they
got
portrayed
that Egyptian look.
Yeah, you watch this. Like they definitely portrayed Cleopatra.
I mean, I'm sure she wasn't, but we can write the history at this point, right? That's what the government does.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, she was Egyptian, so it means that she was probably bald because they like to shave their heads and wear wigs. So,
did they really?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, chances are she was bald and she had, because the lice was a really big issue. So they would shave their body.
I got nothing against a chick with no hair, dude.
I don't either.
Lice, though, that's something that you don't really, day to day, you're not afraid of nowadays.
Well, I mean, that's why you have to shave your hair in boot camp, though.
That's the whole thing where it's like, an advanced civilization that built the pyramids, but also couldn't quite come up with the technology to solve their lice problem. You kind of have I don't know, I don't think they were moving stones around with, magic orbs. I think they were probably using a lot of forced labor.
Yeah, you could say so.
You could probably be like, yeah, you can't solve that lice problem.
Here's my question. Like, because let's unpack this for a little bit. Okay. Like when Caesar fucking rolled into Germania, like they ended up marching like 1,100 miles. Like he was on that campaign for 7 years. Like, so when you take, like, imagine just being a Roman foot soldier, you've got one set of armor, your shoes, which, are probably, not just some cloth and leather, maybe, like, and now you're walking 1,100 miles, like, for 6 years. Like, what was the churn?
What? You're not getting one shot.
Yeah, I know that. But I just mean, like, how do you keep those people alive? Like, how do you maintain an army like that when you're just on foot moving? I
don't know Roman supply chain and logistics, but it would be interesting. I'm sure that they had to like set up like little like camps and then fucking go do hunter-gatherer shit, right?
And even then, yeah,
no idea.
You're having to do that for 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 men. Like, just looking at feeding this machine.
I'm sure they walked livestock with them too. I mean, they had to have, right?
Well, then that's why they moved from village to village, because they would pillage. Because
just lots of raiding and pillaging.
Yeah.
And so they would be pulling some of their logistics with them. And then they'd be we'll call it battlefield procurement. The other one.
What a PC term, battlefield procurement.
Yeah, but I also, like, my mind goes to like, hey, we're 30 days in and we get into our first battle and I get a bad cut on my right thigh. Like, it's like,
yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, you're either keeping up.
Yeah, we live in the most fortunate time in the whole fucking existence of humanity, and yet we're the most sensitive to fucking fuck.
It's like, God, that would suck if you just got an injury that generally wouldn't be crazy, but when you're walking 10, 12 miles a day.
You're not even thinking about like a general injury that you would get in Ranger School or something, like cellulitis, right? So it's like cellulitis.
Or a sprained ankle or a broken foot. Ankle,
yeah.
Yeah. It's like a broken foot, cellulitis.
Or a staph infection. Like, that shit's killing you, bro. Bye. Bye.
Yeah. Fake leg. Like, we got to cut this thing off. So just think about that. I mean, the genetics from a person that survived all of that, the natural attrition of just weakness would just be like fucking, and that's like battle. That's like starvation, because now you're thinking about even people that don't have the ability to eat on a regular basis. So then it's people are surviving off their own body fat for extended periods of time, going into battle and fighting. So you're starving and then recovering from injury in order to go back into battle and then starving again. Think about that genetic fucking person has got to be crazy.
I feel like they should like depict that in a movie where it's because like every time you watch like a Braveheart or Roman or like Game of Thrones, like it's so sexy and right, everybody's like perfect and made up. It's like those armies were just fucking disease ridden, like, forced into slave armies. Like nothing was
now
sexy
think about
it.
This. Like, there's zero information flow. Like, if you're just a dude carrying a sword, you're just told when to get up and walk, and when we're stopping and when we're fighting. Like,
nah, dude, you just go on Instagram and check where,
it's not
where your army got tagged.
And then you hope your fingers are crossed that maybe your ranks or your division is going to get rations of food tonight. Like, dude, that had to be the most miserable possible living ever.
I don't think you knew anything else. I mean, I think it was just like inherently like important to be a stronger human at that point. Like there's that you don't know anything else, right? Like that's all you know. But you do have a sense of consciousness being a human being.
I mean, what was the motivate? Like, Evan, do you know this? Like, was the true motivation behind being a Roman soldier essentially the promise of land eventually as you continued to conquer and push out? Like, is that what kept these guys rolling? Like, or was it just enslavement?
Well, I don't think the actual Roman soldier, and I could be wrong. I don't think that they were slaves. I think they were conscripts.
Well, yeah, because Pompey awarded his entire army land.
So, I think they had a conscript, which would basically be a slave at that point. And then I think if you survived and or moved up, that you'd eventually be rewarded. But I can't remember. I haven't really gone down the rabbit hole.
Should have done my Roman history before this show,
Bro, honestly, it's really, really interesting because there's a lot of parallels to fucking what's going on now. Like,
I just been on that Cosmos kick, dude. I'm still obsessed with all that shit.
You and your white holes.
Yeah, I mean, I like black holes too, man. I'll go any hole works for me.
I just started Raised by Wolves last night, which is very, very interesting concept.
Yeah, it's basically like looking at that moment when humanity has to leave Earth because it's just gone completely to shit, and how we would do that with artificial intelligence and repopulating someplace else.
Isn't it atheists versus the Mormons essentially?
Yeah, religion versus atheists.
Yeah, and the atheists sent embryos and an android to raise humans on a new place, but the religion one sent an ark with actual humans because they refused to let androids raise the humans.
You know what the most fulfilling thing to watch late at night is SpaceX landing their booster rockets. It's like watching someone perfectly put like a needle through like a little eyelet. It's absolutely amazing. Have you watched that whole science behind that? Any of you guys? No. They're heavy ships that fly out their cargo bays that shoot off the rockets and they self-land, and then the main booster lands on a ocean float.
Yeah, I've seen that
barge.
Seen it, yeah. I don't know the science
fucking
or technology.
Insane, dude. Insane. They got it from in like 4 years. It was landing within a 10-kilometer circle into a 10-foot circle or some shit like that. Or 10 meters, excuse me, I think it was. I'm like, it's mind-boggling to know that there's that the amount of smart people that it takes to do something like that. And then you look at politics and you're like, so did all the smart people go to like math and science, and then all the fucking idiots go into politics? Because we're launching shit into space and then having a fucking siloed rocket rotate multiple times, land on a pad within a tiny little circle to reuse it. But then we're trying to pass ghost gun control. Like, you fucking dumb fucking
I've always said that about the debates. It's like, you would think, like, I would love to see a presidential debate where the entire American public is going, who's smarter? Like, yeah, man, that dude's a genius. Yeah, let's vote. And instead, it's just babbling idiots.
I think that's the problem, though. I think that you have... you have a wide swath of people that don't really give a shit about politics, and then you have two parties, right? This two-party system, and it's kind of a self-licking ice cream cone, because the two parties are only going to promote people that they know they can control. I mean, that's why Trump was such a disruptor, because he wouldn't be controlled by the GOP or the DNC. Both sides essentially hated him. So there's no way that guy could have succeeded in the current political climate. And people have to understand, it's like the institutions are hundreds of years old. So
you're not gonna buck them.
Being an outsider, good luck, but that's why a guy like Biden is perfect, because he's been in the machine for 40 plus years, 47 years. And
his brain's deteriorating. So,
I don't know why you'd say that. I think he looks like really cognitive. He's super aware. There's definitely no generation from the time that he was, 8 years ago or any of those things for sure. I mean, he looks great.
Yeah,
It looks solid.
Really, really does.
He doesn't look like a zombie that's just kind of like sitting there as a puppet.
I just like the fact that he's always thinking one step ahead of you. So when you ask him a question, that's kind of why he stumbles on his words, because he's just so witty.
He's just
and
playing
smart.
chess in his head.
He's just playing chess.
But I think that's the scariest fucking thing, right? It's like we have real enemies. I was thinking about this.
Yeah, this isn't a fucking joke, dude. We have people want to kill us all the time.
We have like Putin is fucking playing like 4D chess. Like that guy is fucking a really sharp guy.
And we're making it easy for him.
No, and so are the Chinese. Like the Chinese are, they're dictators. Like we're up against dictatorships that have institutional, generational power and trillions of dollars at their disposal. And what we're doing is we're electing like the geriatric professional politician all-star group to fucking go and represent us. It's fucking insane. Like,
Well, this next election, no doubt, is going to be super interesting. Like, who do you guys
the
kind of
midterms
see
are
getting
gonna be interesting.
teed up for this? Well, The Rock
This
is already
term's
kind of
gonna be
banging
interesting.
the drum for, seeing if he's going to like, are people interested in this? Like, he's made a few posts in the recent past that are like, well, if you guys wanted me to do this, I might think about it.
How are we looking up there, Sergeant Best? On target, on time, boys! Fire for effect! Here we go! Set! You heard him! Fire for effect!
I don't have a lot of, I don't have a lot of faith right now in just our general institutions, because they've caught this fucking politically correct virus that is everywhere. To include even how they select people for special operations, right? It's like, what does your sexual organs don't have shit to do with how competent you are, your race, your sexual organs. Like, it's just fucking weird to me that people are having these complex conversations about, the diversity in the workplace. And it's like, yeah, diversity in the workplace is something that everybody should encourage because there is a standard. And anybody that applies and meets the fucking standard, regardless of race or gender, exceeds that standard and they get fucking hired. But I don't think that you can hire fucking Delta Force operators based on their fucking sexual organs. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. So, and neither can you do that.
Airline pilots.
Fighter pilots and fucking airline pilots and everything else. It's like you meet and exceed the standard. Who gives a shit what gender or race you are? That's it. But it's like this weird conversation. And I was listening to something the other day where they were talking about how airlines need to change their policies to allow more females into pilot training and then essentially becoming pilots.
Who was that? Who said that? Was it Delta or someone said that they want 55%
No, it was United
of diverse for pilots? I'm sitting over here like, dude, I'm not the smartest guy, but just give me the fucking people that aren't going to crash the plane. I've never once looked in that cockpit and been like, oh man, this sex or race is flying me. I'm like, they're good pilot. Thanks for not fucking crashing the plane and killing me, dude.
Yeah.
How is it though that
flying the plane? I'm really happy there's a vagina flying the plane.
Yeah, right.
Not once has that ever crossed my mind. Like, hey, you know what? I've got to have open heart surgery, but I want a female, guys. Like, I got to have a like, no, I just want a super competent fucking surgeon. I don't care what their genetic origin is or their, sexual preference. I don't give a shit. Just make sure that I fucking live. It's like, are you going to take your children to a doctor and be like, you know what?
But
I really want to make sure that we're you're operating and the person that's operating on my children is celebrating diversity in the workplace. I really want that.
Yeah. But that stems this like question in my head that I've never understood, because I think if you asked probably 85% of Americans and you're like, do you care what sexual preference, race, or whatever is flying it? What do you care about? I just want the best pilot, right? The best qualified person for the job. So I would venture to say that most Americans would agree with that sentiment. But then in the same stance, you have this like microcosmic portion of American culture that's pushing this PC agenda. But then now all these massive corporations are adhering to it because why? Right? Like they need to take a fucking stand and be like, nah, attention. we don't give a fuck who you are as long as you're a great pilot, as long as you're a great doctor. Like,
why don't we think about this? Because this is a point that I really didn't see made by the media in the last 2 weeks about Georgia. Is Georgia went through the legislative process to pass a bill that reformed their election process in their state. And when they voted on that and passed it, corporations like the MLB and Delta fucking Airlines wanted to come in and penalize the state and chime in. How dangerous is that to our fucking process? The state is allowed to vote and pass legislation that they want.
Yeah.
Private companies can get fucked. Like, your opinion doesn't matter. And then you're going to come in and penalize Atlanta because you don't like what the state decided they wanted their laws to be?
Well, I don't look at it as a penalty. I mean, who cares? At the end of the day,
the city's saying they lost over $100 million by the MLB pulling the All-Star game out of Atlanta.
Well, I agree, but that's called freedom, which is, at the end of the day, you can't have both, which is companies have the right to choose where they're going to do their business. And just like us, there's a reason why we're in Texas, Utah, and Tennessee. There's a reason, which is I don't want to set up our headquarters. Now, I fully agree with this statement, which is California has the best diverse terrain imaginable as far as like close to the ocean, mountains in your backyard. Like it's fucking awesome. The political terrain is absolute dog shit. And I would never set up our headquarters in that state ever. So California has the right to do whatever the fuck they want to do as a state in their legislative process, just like Georgia. And I have the right as a company, and we have a right as a company to go, yeah, we're good. We're going to set up headquarters, set up shop somewhere else. So I think regardless of what corporations think or, the legislative process and what's passing, that's the beauty of having 50 states where you can attract and pull in different businesses that also think like the legislative body. And I love that. I think where there's a danger is when it starts to drift up to the federal process. And now there's blanket policies that go over all 50 states. Now you can't escape it. You can't move across state lines because it's dumb legislation. And now there's nothing you can do. You're fucking trapped. So taking like California and New York and some of these other states and taking that type of policy and then leveling it up to the federal system, that's when it starts to become dangerous. I don't care about Georgia. Actually, I love this. I love the fact that corporations are saying, no, I'm pulling out of here. And Georgia's saying, I'm going to do this. Great. Do it again and over again.
Yeah, but it's all on fake pretenses too. Like, the MLB was claiming Georgia's move was the way their new election process bill was racist. And they moved their game from a predominantly Black-owned business area to a predominantly white-owned business area that had the same regulations. Like, so it's all fake. You're all full of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the African American community has the right to call them on it.
Yeah.
They have those towns, those communities, they have the right to say, you're all full of shit, and basically give them the middle finger. And you can call them on it, right? It's like there's nothing, and there's nothing protecting them on both sides. So it's like you're going to get one narrative from Fox, you're going to get one narrative from CNN, you're going to have like the middle ground in there. But at the end of the day, there's like facts. There's facts, and they're not like gray areas in a lot of this stuff. But what do we know? We're 4 white males on a podcast talking about this stuff. Like,
your privilege is showing.
I know my privilege.
That's my 50 cal, Jared. And it's my fucking constitutional right, not my privilege.
Oh, but hey, not all the what did he say? The amendments are not
Absolute.
Yeah. I watched this hilarious video. What's God, I can't remember which one it is, but it's like the 13th Amendment.
18th.
Is it the 13th? Yeah, 18th.
Income taxes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, great. I was saying like, hey, let's barter, man. Like, hey, if we can dumpster that one, if we can dumpster taxes, I might be able to have a conversation for like, I'll give you my pistol brace.
Yeah.
If you don't pay tax. Hold on.
If these aren't going to be absolute, then let's go ahead and start wheeling and dealing.
Yeah. Hey, there's deals to be cut here. I don't need SBRs if we dump income tax. I don't need that. I'm all about like, okay, man, like I don't need that 50 cal, but if we shave 10% off my income tax, like let's make a deal here. I'm totally down for that. I am. Like I'm down for that. Let's start fucking dealing and dealing. I like this.
Yeah, I've admittedly kind of stayed off of politics because it's like I feel like my dad, where it's like every time I watch him, I'm just getting super fucking pissed these days.
Yeah, but the climate
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like you and I were talking yesterday. It's like even the thirst for content has changed now. People don't really like funny or fun anymore. They want to
Angry.
get mad and argue in the comments. Like that's shifted,
Yeah, and they're not even willing to like consume longer pieces of media anymore. Everybody wants this like short one-hitter things that's just gonna melt their brain.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, you can consume whatever you want as a person, right? But yeah, it's just interesting to see a massive cultural shift in that way. I don't know if it's my age or our age, but it's very, very interesting.
What you doing down there, TikTok?
Hey, you got that TikTok down
You doing that little dance where you shake your booty?
It's a little dance like this, and it goes like this.
I don't know. I mean, I think, the most popular podcasts in the world are fucking 2-3 hours long.
3 hours long. Yeah.
I don't know how, right? And I mean, when I look at stuff, I'm like, I think there's a really very specific place for longer form content that goes deeper into subjects. I think people are starved for the real information. They want to hear something other than sound bites, right? There's like this huge portion of the population that wants just like a sound bite or a meme or whatever. But I think there are guys like people, not just guys, I guess, but people that are like above the age of 25 because their brains are fully developed and they're hungry for real information, real entertainment. I think it's the younger generation.
I just think I agree, but I think like a lot of the algorithms and how things are set up to give whatever entertainment or information is set on like a principle of it being short form clickbait, because that gets more viewership and inherently gets more ad revenue. So I think the platforms are definitely doing that. And God, did you want to bring up what happened, Jared, on Facebook?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one right here.
Drinkin Bros Maine was deleted. It's been around since 2014. Over 110,000 members. Look, we're the largest interconnected group of groups. They wiped out Maine.
Yeah.
Did there be a reason? Was it just a violation of the community guidelines? What was it?
It was a blanket one.
Yeah, they always keep it very vague, because there's no published community guidelines. All they do is say you violated community guidelines.
Your group has been disabled. This is because Drinkin Bros goes against our community standards on guns, animals, and other regulated goods. We have these standards to encourage safety and compliance with common legal restrictions.
So is it gone, or they're like,
it's disabled right now?
You can bring it back in some way, shape, or form.
Friends in the Facebook realm, say essentially, they just keep you in this limbo. You file the appeal, and then I have some friends that have very, very large, very big groups that we've, the same similar thing, and they've been awaiting the answer on their appeal for 7 months so far. So it's just it's a limbo. Yeah. It's wild because, they just keep tightening the reins. We're not allowed to communicate how we want to communicate anymore.
What I don't understand either, right? So it's like if there was someone within one of the subgroups, main group that went against community guidelines, that individual should be held responsible, because what they're doing is essentially holding a group responsible for the individual actions, which means if you looked at it from a more large scale, Facebook is the one that's fucked up, even though a group within their platform is
they're
going against
taking
community
power away. Like, that's the thing.
But that's what I'm saying. It's fucking hypocritical, rather than, hey, hypothetically, if someone went against community standards and was like trying to privately transfer a weapon online, right? That you can't do that on Facebook. Like, that guy goes away, not the fucking group of 110,000 people that use this as a resource every day to like network and support their families and do all the good that group has done. And they're so easily like ready to just discredit all of the good and focus on the one negative. It's like, and I'm sure it's just some fucking like intern that did it, like it's not like that went up the chain of command in Facebook, but still.
Yeah, but this is like parents grounding their kids. And we're like, why am I grounded? Like, you don't get to know. You don't get to learn the reason or experience what you did wrong or improve in any way, shape, or form. Your nose is in a corner.
Yeah, but
definitely.
That's the goal. The goal is to remove power from our side. Like, that's what they're doing. Like, it's not just us. There's hundreds of thousands of people being targeted. We have friends that are in lawsuits with Twitter right now for completely deleting Twitter accounts during actual elections. Like, people that were running for an elected office and then their Twitter account getting deleted for with no explanation. Like, this shit is going bananas, and it's Silicon Valley.
Well, that's what it is. It's politics. It's corporations playing political favorites, and it just so people know, like it's the same that it's always been. Like, corporations have been playing politics since literally like this isn't a new problem. The State Department, I was reading a book on the Dulles brothers, which is Alan Dulles and Foster Dulles. And, we would invade countries because corporations were losing profits based on certain regimes. Like, we would be like, yeah, let's fucking overthrow Guatemala. Sounds good. Cause you know what? I got a banana plantation down there and we need to figure it out. I think what people have to understand is, and I think, part of this is educating populations and then understanding that if they have too much control and they're shaping, because that's really what they're doing. They're shaping the entire country on information. They're not allowing people to have a voice. So there's a counter narrative, and they're international corporations with foreign investors as well. Yeah. So what people need to understand is like these are not just like they're based in America, but they're international corporations with Chinese, Russian, Kuwaiti, Saudi Arabian investors in just a litany of different countries in international investments. Of course, they're going to try to steer their companies to directly impact and shape the way that we look at our society. Of course they are. The thing that I fear most of this is there's this direct manipulation of what we were addressing earlier of information. And I think that people are being manipulated and divided on a daily basis by these large scale social media companies. And they're saying, we're on two opposite sides. We hate each other. Anybody that wants a firearm is part of a militia now, and all these like crazy things. Like, well, how much of that is actually being directed from outside of our country? Like, how much of this information is being applied through, we'll call it proxy elements, because if we think that there isn't proxy elements in this country, meaning Chinese and Russian
yes,
assets,
100%.
don't even know they're Chinese and Russian assets that work inside a lot of these different
There's
organizations.
reporters, media outlets, blog sites, news sites, everything that is on payroll of other enemy countries of us.
Yeah. And this has been going on forever. I mean, this was part of Stalin's playbook.
Yeah.
He wanted, and he talked about this openly in the Soviet Union.
Demoralized, destabilized. Yeah, the whole thing.
Well, and the other thing was that the Soviets really wanted people to be turned on, and what they openly put this out in their playbook was democratic socialism. We've heard this, right?
Yeah.
Like that is the way that we actually move forward, and we can co-opt the intellectual portions of our society to buy into democratic socialist values. And then that can eventually evolve into communism. It will eventually evolve into communism. And what they were trying early on, even post World War II in the is early before World War II and then after World War II, they were directly trying to manipulate foreign, when I say European powers. And what they would do is they would not go after the head of state. What they would try to do is go 3 rings below and then co-opt this larger swath of influencers that work in government and media across the intellectual base in order to buy them into the idea of socialist policies, like democratic socialism, voted in. It's good for the population. And then they could influence in this level and then begin to lift the entire society into this ideology. That's exactly what they wanted to do. This was their playbook back in the 1950s. They were doing this in Germany and France and across all these Western European states. And it's so fucking crazy to me to see this stuff happen in the United States. And it's so transparent. It's like, come
right
on,
in front
guys.
of your fucking
We
face.
know what's going on. Like, and we all just like agree this is what's going on. Like they want us to like take a little taste. You know, here's your stimulus check, which by the way, I do agree with, but turn these things on and co-opt an intellectual and influencer based mid-level group of our society. And then essentially they'll just continue to push it over. But the only way it works, communism works, is through dictatorship. So it has to manifest itself and then essentially transition into a fascist dictatorship style regime. It doesn't work any other way. So it's a fucking slippery slope, man. Like this is where people are headed if they continue to forfeit their freedoms.
Well, what is this
bullshit?
Yeah.
What is this like? I saw 2 days ago, the Biden administration announced forming a new thing over the Supreme Court.
I didn't see this.
They want to do
the presidential conjunction or something of like that resides.
It's a commission. So what they want to do is they want to commission essentially a study, from what I understand, over what the Supreme Court does or what it can or can't do, what its real power is. And then, I mean, that's exactly what they're doing. When I say there's a group of people, I would say on both sides, they're power hungry egomaniacs that ultimately want to control other people. It doesn't matter. Like, and the wide swath of us in the middle are just like, dude, I don't give a fuck if your party is D or if it's R. If you believe in individual freedom, like you're on my team. Like you're on my team.
Leave us alone.
Yeah, free range American. Like leave me the fuck alone. I want to do my thing. I'm not hurting anybody. Like leave me alone. You know, the whole thing of like rifles, like the assault rifle ban and things like that. There's literally zero data
that supports what they want.
It supports
not to mention when you're calling it an epidemic and it's nothing, like absolutely nothing. And the fact that it's a fucking national conversation
fraction
shows
of
you how fucking stupid people are. Like you can fucking Google the CDC data in 2 fucking seconds. And then you can look at guys like Colion Noir that are making factual points from a lawyer background. And the only dispute that people have against the argument is, I just don't want tragedy to happen. No fucking shit. Not one gun owner in America is like, let's have people die, right? But like, you got how many fucking 120,000 people or so that died from COVID during Biden in presidency already? And it's like, and the conversation is about guns. You fucking moronic dumb fucks, because it plays into the whole playbook. Like, they don't want dudes like us, fucking guns, trained professionals, right? And we are the safest people in the fucking nation. Like, there is a 0% chance of me using my firearm outside of using deadly force to save myself from life getting hurt.
Yeah, but you know who's partly to blame for that is our side. Because our side is too busy screaming, fucking shall not be infringed, than actually educating the people that don't understand this. And that's the point that I'm trying to drive home to a lot of these people when I get in these arguments on the internet is, great, your position is shall not be infringed. But the war that we're fighting right now is the fact that the people that control the messaging, the people that are in front of the cameras, and the people that pull the buttons of what is allowed to be shared and posted and everything like that are pushing out that rifles need to go away because they're a danger to our society. And if you are not inside those comments every day with the goal to educate and flip someone that is listening to that message, then you are part of the problem. So you have to go into these arguments and actually educate with pointed facts and up-to-date data. That means if you are really a gun advocate and your patriot LARPing ass that you're constantly on there talking shit about Dan Crenshaw and all these other people and red flag laws, blah, 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 then go to the FBI.gov fucking website, read the statistics, and actually change someone's mind. Like, rather than just be a bunch of fucking loud noise, because you're placating to the model that they want us to be, just some flag waving dumb idiot that says, don't touch my guns.
Don't touch my guns, I'll fuck you up.
I think Jared wins the rant for the day.
Yeah, you won the rant award, dude. You won the rant award.
Hey, you won the rant award. Right, it's just a matter of time, right? It's a matter of time. And before, one, we can't even post a picture of a rifle on social media.
It's already happening. I mean, that happened to Tim K the other day, man. He just he was like holding a rifle, like just a picture, and it got deleted. Like it's just the little claws away. It's the little claws away. Yeah. You know, just scrape it away. See
slowly
how this
turning
goes
up
over.
the heat in the pot.
See how this goes over. Yeah.
But
frog in the pot.
I think that's where there's opportunity. I really think there's opportunity there, which is there are millions of gun owners that believe in the Second Amendment. There's no reason why Silicon Valley has this much fucking power.
Yeah.
The reason why, the reason is, and I think it goes back to Jared's point, which is the National Rifle Association has been asleep at the fucking wheel. And we all know that, right? They were shoveling money to their crony little fucking buddies and their marketing companies, and they're maintaining their business license in New York, which is so stupid for the NRA to have fucking done that. So they're going to get sued. They knew they were going to get sued, but they were just like a bunch of fucking dinosaurs, like sleeping, just taking in fucking millions and millions of dollars instead of, hey, you know what? We're going to have to strategically relocate our organization. We've got to really invest in education. We've got to really invest in probably the technology to go out and talk to not only just in our own 2A echo chamber, we have to go out and really educate people on why freedom is important, why this whole issue is important. Why does real, statistically accurate information matter? These are all the things that they should have been doing, but instead they want to post memes on fucking social media and, out of my cold dead hands. It's like, yeah, that only goes so far, guys. You have to build server farms, actually. Like all of us should have been like, oh my God, we probably need to build a fucking server farm in Texas or in Utah.
We might need a bank.
Or in Tennessee.
We might need a big bank. We might need a server farm. We might need
we might need our own, our own banking institutions, because at the end of the day, when you look at like marijuana is a good example, and I think this is where we're headed, is that states are going to claw back their state power. They're going to say, nope, this is a 2A sanctuary state. Fuck off if you think that you're going to do something different. Just like we did with marijuana.
Yeah.
And they're going to essentially give the USG, the big Fed, the middle finger and say, yeah, we're okay. We're going to be a 2A sanctuary state. You guys do what you do. But we've all saw this coming. We all saw this coming decades. Like, how long have we been having this conversation? This goes
about
back
1990.
This goes back to the Clinton administration. And why they haven't got their shit together, and why there hasn't been somebody that really invested in how do you build a banking institution that allows firearms companies to make transactions, because this is a fucking constitutional right. And these guys are under so much fucking pressure all day from banks and credit card processing. Like, that's the other thing. Credit card processing and banks and financial institutions, all this shit is controlled, and there's this massive amount of liability. Well, this is a constitutional right. And why are we under so much fucking scrutiny as gun owners? To the life of me, I cannot fucking figure it out, other than there is a very sophisticated agenda that says, you know what, we do not want you guys to have firearms anymore.
Yes.
I mean, there has to, of course.
There has to be.
You can't look at like predominantly the largest figures on social media that are in the gun industry that are like trained professionals that used to be special operations and worked in like clandestine places, like, and then say that they're a national threat. Like, what? Like that, but that's what's happening essentially. Right?
You
like,
can, when you know that you're evil. Like, that's the thing.
I know, like, dude, my channel in certain universities is classified as like an alt-right, bigot, racist channel. And I'm like, what fucking planet do you fucking live on, dude? Like, what the fuck? And the only reason that's there is because I have guns in my channel. That's it. Yeah. You know, that's it. There's no other reasoning or logic that you can find other than I'm a gun guy.
Yeah. Well, and that, I think that's the trend of this entire conversation, because this is how they get us.
Yeah.
As gun owners, they're going to try to swing the conversation to, okay, then you guys are national fascist supremacists, and that's the way that they're going to try to corner us, because that's what they want to do. They want to paint us all into this corner where like gun owners are all crazy, alt-right, fucking lunatics. And that's the way that they're going to corner us.
Yeah, and they know how to poke. They appoint the guy that they just appointed as the head of the ATF. They know that's going to stir us all up like a fucking hornet's nest going, what the fuck? It's like, let's just keep driving these guys crazy so they look crazier and crazier and crazier on the internet.
It's called the AFT, Jared.
AFT.
Well, I think that was a great mistake for those guys, by the way, because the Netflix documentary on Waco was one of the most viewed. I should say it was a docu-series. Docu-series was one of the most docu-series viewed.
And talk about a catastrophe, bro. Holy shit.
So both the left and the right, like, man, I had friends that I know are liberal going, what the fuck? Like, texting me that photo of him standing on top of the burning
bodies of children.
American.
And
25 of them.
And this is the fucking guy that they're like, let's put this guy in charge. So this sick fuck that is standing on top of a bunch of dead Americans, thinking that he's cool in camouflage, that's the guy that you're going to promote and put into that position? It's like, it's unbelievable. Like, just the fact that that guy did that should prevent him from ever holding fucking public office in any way, shape, or form, ever. Can you imagine if a fucking conservative had taken a photo like that. Like, can you imagine if we took a photo like that on a compound that burnt to the fucking ground where a bunch of fucking people died?
A friend of ours got hung out to dry for posing with a bunch of dead terrorists. If we forgot about that one, not American people.
Yeah, which blows me away. Like this entire, I think what they did in this was he knew this guy can't get confirmed. He knew this was going to cause a fucking shitstorm, but it placates to a very
strategic,
small but loud percentage of his base. It's like, this is posturing. It's not going to get confirmed. Then they can blame the Republicans in the House and the Senate, right? They can blame him. And now he'll never get confirmed. But if he does, now you've got this lionizing event that essentially allows them to flip the House and Senate both red. And it also allows, like, I really think that the executive office wants to flip the House and Senate. I really do. I think they want to flip it red because now the executive office has the ability to articulate that they can't pass legislation because the House and the Senate are Republican controlled. And the Republicans are blocking any piece of legislation that they're proposing. Everything has to be pushed forward by executive order. And I think they know that they have a greater chance of winning a second term if they can blame the Republicans for the lack of substantial legislation.
Yeah.
I really think they need the excuse to not pass certain things and to propose just fucking crazy shit like $30 minimum wage and shit like that across the United States. And, you know, like federal benefits for illegal immigrants, like just crazy stuff where they're like, we brought it up, but those Republicans, you know, they shut it down, fellas. Shut it down, you know? But I guarantee there's a piece of me that thinks like that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Well,
fuck am I?
Yeah.
We tell dick jokes on the internet and roast coffee.
Hell yeah.
We got a
coffee. That coffee and also new shirts are available at blackriflecoffee.com. Make sure you're checking out the ECS. Got some new cool stuff coming up.
Is that how we just end it? We just politically ran for like 45 minutes. Like we roast coffee and tell jokes. Oh, and I'm a shitty fake country music artist. Yeah, let's go.
I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, I think
it's fun. No, I think it's great. Like it's what we do, but obviously we're passionate about this. This stuff means like everything to us. Of course it does. Like this is our country. Like we all everybody in this fucking Zoom call fought for a country. Like you don't want to see this go to shit, man. I want to see years and years of prowess of Logan just being able to take his shirt off and shoot an M60, you know?
Amen.
Interesting how you went there.
Like oiled up, you know, it's a 1 p.m. in Texas. It's 86 degrees. So it's the same temperature. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just some raw hot dogs dipped in olive oil.
Yeah. Well, what? We just black out on it. I think it's interesting how we just go from like politics to coffee and then to really homoerotic.
I'm pretty good at making it homoerotic, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's not a thing.
What do you guys got coming up? Anything?
Yeah, lots of things. Lots of things.
As this show will be playing, we will be holding the Adaptive Athlete Total Archery Challenge
this Thursday.
I'm excited.
And then the Total Archery Challenge kicks off this weekend down here in San Antonio.
This weekend?
Yeah. Which will go throughout the rest of the summer. Yeah, all over the country. If you're into archery, go check out Total Archery Challenge.
Yeah. Now, that'd be awesome for the Adaptive Athlete shoot. I'm really excited for that. I got my razor, had the guys take my razor from my house up there. So I'm going to drive some of the guys around.
I'll have my dirt bike.
Sling some arrows. Yeah, it'll be a good time.
You're going to have your dirt bike, a razor. Man, you guys are going to be fucking firing it up down there.
Yeah.
You'll be here for that, right?
Yeah, I fly in tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm going to be down there slinging some arrows. We got a ton of stuff actually that we're doing. I mean, projectile enthusiasm, obviously, just fucking shooting steel. I'm bringing those. I got those company STIs that we branded STIs.
I can't wait.
With Leopold red dots. So we're gonna really fucking sling some steel.
I've never had a red dot on a pistol before. I'm excited.
Yeah, I got those for everybody at the end of the year.
That's all when Evan says he outshoots me. I just have my stock Glock and he's got his fucking race car gun. He's like, what's wrong? Can't hit this. And he's got like a red dot and custom trigger, match grade ammo. And he still can't even outshoot me. But
Ooh.
Whoa, that sounds like a video contest. Right there.
I think so.
I just wanted to piss him off.
Not true. That's like sounds like CNN.
It was a little CNN fake newsy. It was a little fake newsy.
That was a little little CBS right there with DeSantis.
I did take like different details from different circumstances and bucket them all together and make one instance, which is not a true narrative. But hey, I'll be fake news today. I don't give a fuck. My 50 cal, like I said, that identifies as a revolver. I'm fucking good.
It looks like it identifies as a guitar.
It is. It plays this music of freedom.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, check this out. We'll leave you with this one. I was at my new house the other day, no shit. And I'm sitting out and working on some shit outside. And what are the little
house, actually?
That ding, 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 the chimes, wind chimes? No shit. It started playing the national anthem for like 8 seconds. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever had. It was like bing, 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 bing. The wind did it. And I looked in and I was like, did you hear that, Noelle? And she's like, that was the national anthem. And I was like, that's fucking cool. That's just saying.
The ghost of Matt Best.
Dude, what a great start to your new house.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
the wind is playing the national anthem on your wind chimes. Oh, man, that's a good sign. It's a really good sign.
I just think it's me in another dimension, just saying like, celebrate this freedom, bro. Get after it.
All right, get after it. See you guys.